We're here in New York. The White Sox lead 1-0 over the Mets. Huascar Brazoban is the pitcher for the Mets. Luis Robert Jr. is the White Sox batter. Robert's 1 for 3. He singled in the sixth and stole a base.
You and I pop into the contest. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? After the way this one's going this afternoon.
0-1 from Brazoban. Robert hits a fly ball to left, and that's going to be playable for Nimmo. He's there to make the catch, and he fires it in to Lindor at short to hold off the runner at first. 2 outs in the top of the 8th.
The White Sox can take game 1 of this series. That would stun this crowd here.
Benintendi's at first. We're going to get a mound visit here. Carlos Mendoza will take out Huascar Brazoban. And we'll be right back. New pitcher for the Mets after the break. 2 outs. New pitcher for the Mets, Jose Castillo, will come in to try and
pretty good Arsenal's package, sinker, slider,
keep the Mets within 1.
Throw the slider a lot, about 62% of the time.
Austin Slater will pinch hit.
Palacios will take a seat, and a pinch hitter will be Austin Slater.
First pitch to Slater is outside for ball number 1.
Slater had a big day
Benintendi at first. 2 outs in the 8th. White Sox up by a run.
His first home run since coming back from the injured list for Slater.
1-0 pitch. Slater fouls it off.
Like the aggressive hack right there.
Let's flash it back to yesterday. Slater at the dish, and he goes yard.
Yeah, not an easy thing to do. Patrick Corbin has been pitching really well for the Rangers all year. Look at 105.54 miles an hour exit velo. 96 miles an hour at its
1-1 to Slater is a sinker outside for ball 2.
Slater with the stash, as Brooke told us yesterday, in the month of May, is to bring awareness to mental health.
It's 2-1. Swing and a miss and a slider at the bottom of the zone for strike 2.
2-2.
Yeah, that's Castillo's Brent Leonard.
Actually,
throw it almost 3/4 of the time.
Sorry, it wasn't a swing and a miss. He foul tipped it.
Benintendi on it first with 2 outs.
Payoff pitch. Slater ground ball, but it's foul third base side. We'll see another.
Lay off of righties, right? It looks so inviting to hit. If you have good spin and you tunnel it pretty well, it looks like a fastball that's coming in. You want to get the bat head out, and it just moves so late. You either swing over the top of it or you beat it into the ground if it's thrown well.
2-2 to Slater. Slater hits a fly ball into right field. That's going to be
Just foul. Whoa,
a foul ball, barely. That might have been on the line. It was so close. From the camera angle, they showed it. I thought it was fair.
Oh, I get another look at that one, just how close it came to being fair down the line.
It's amazing, right? How they call baseball a game of inches. This ball's about as close as you can get to hitting that foul line.
I need a better angle. Okay, they're not going to show a better angle. I didn't even show anything.
You would assume, too, with 2 outs, you could be aggressive. A guy
White
like
Sox
Soto,
broadcast moment. Slater gets a new bat.
$700 million player. If you can be aggressive, take advantage of it.
2-2 with Benintendi at first, 2 outs.
Lifetime versus Castillo, the reliever, 1 for 2.
Here's the pitch. Slater fouls off another one.
Yeah, that's that good, hard breaking ball that he has. Slater doing a good job of hanging in there in that at bat.
Castillo comes down with the leverage. He's a big guy, 6'6", 252 pounds. That's why his nickname is the Big Dude. Shakes off the first.
And the 2-2. Slater fouls off another one.
For Slater, he stays
Castillo's just been feeding him sliders, and Slater's just been swinging and fouling everyone off and staying alive.
You've got to make sure you get that bat head out.
Two outs here in this top half of the 8th inning.
Here's another 2-2. And just missed outside. The count is full.
Slater, the count is now full.
You can see that's about a ball outside of the strike zone. Castillo wanted that call, so did Alvarez.
Here comes the full count delivery from Castillo. Slater fouls off another one.
We'll see another one.
Yeah, if you're Castillo right now, you're thinking, what do I have to do? I throw him everything I have.
This will be the 11th pitch this at bat. Austin Slater has fouled off 7 pitches.
That being Slater.
And the 3-2.
3-2.
And it's down. That's a hard-fought walk by Austin Slater. One an at-bat.
Boy, not an easy thing to do. You sit around for over 2 hours. You get a pitch hit appearance.
So now Benintendi at second, Slater at first with 2 outs in the top of the 8th, and the White Sox up by a run. As we get a mound visit here. This will bring up.
Will also come off the bench, and he will be the pinch runner for Slater at first base now.
Well, Michael A. Taylor is going to pinch run for Slater at first. So it looks like Taylor will come in to play left defensively. And Edgar is the batter.
So with that move, the White Sox get more speed on the base paths, but also Taylor, one of the best defenders in the outfield.
Edgar is catching today. He's 1 for 3, a double in the 5th.
For the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Two on, 2 out. Top of the 8th. 1-0 White Sox lead. First pitch to Edgar is in there for strike 1.
Strike 1. Carroll 1 for 3. His double coming back in the 5th inning. One of 4 hits today for this White Sox offense.
0-1. And it's a sinker that looked down, but it got the call. Strike 2. Edgar calls time. He does not like the call.
Unfriendly call to strike. It puts a hitter in a tough spot. 0-2. I think you lay off a good pitch, a 2-seam sinker, it's away. Find yourself in the hole now. 0-2. You got to get in protect mode.
And the payout pitch from Castillo, and Edgar swings and misses that inside slider. Castillo strikes out Edgar to end the threat, and we head to the bottom of the 8th. Mets still down by a run. New pitcher for the White Sox here in the bottom of the 8th. It's Cam Boozer. 23 games, 19.1 innings pitched, and a 5.12 ERA.
It'd be a tough act to follow. Brandon Eiser was about as good as it gets getting out of that trouble.
He features 4 pitches. A 4-seam fastball, a sweeper, a cutter, and a change.
About 52% of the time.
Mainly uses the fastball.
And a rare, and I mean 1% of the time, changeup.
Michael A. Taylor plays in left now for the White Sox, as the first batter is the 9-hitter, Francisco Alvarez. First pitch to Alvarez is a cutter at the top of the zone for strike 1.
23 years old, leads things off here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Didn't play the last 2 games, and his manager, Mendoza, had to talk with him on Saturday night just to let him know that...
0-1 pitch is in the dirt for ball 1.
Mendoza said, you know what, it's actually a really good problem for us to have.
Alvarez is 0 for 2 today. Here's the 1-1 from Boozer as a changeup outside for ball 2.
Before a game, how you'd like to go to the bullpen. This is an opportune time to go to.
Alvarez can tie this thing up with one swing of the bat.
Around to the right side, has a little bit more pop from the left side, and then you have back-to-back lefties in Nimmo and Soto.
That's why the White Sox don't have a closer. They're mixing and matching, trying to find pockets.
Here's the 2-1. And that's a cutter right down the pipe for strike 2.
To Alvarez.
2-2 now on Alvarez, the catcher. Boozer trying to strike him out to begin things here in the bottom of the 8th. As Alvarez calls time, steps back into the box, and we'll now see the payoff pitch from Boozer, and it's a fair ball into left field to start things off. A leadoff single for Francisco Alvarez that got by the diving Mydroff. And pinch running will be Luis Aniel Acuna. Luis Aniel into the game. Pitch running for Alvarez, and I believe Torrance will come in off the bench to catch the ninth. So now the leadoff hitter, Francisco Lindor, to the plate.
And the lineup will turn over for Lindor.
Lindor's 1 for 3 with a single in the 6th.
31 years old from Puerto Rico, the face of the franchise here for the Mets.
First pitch, in there for strike 1, a sweeper.
Really good job there by Boozer. He's quick to the plate. It'll make it tough for Acuna to try to swipe a bag. Doesn't spend a lot of time with that leg up in the air.
Inning-ending double play ball in effect for the White Sox for now. Look over at first, down the pitch, and Lindor hits a fly ball foul. And he's quickly down 0-2.
Something you really have to do at spring training and your off-season workouts. Make quality pitches, throwing out of the stretch. You see so many young pitchers when they're throwing, they throw out the windup a lot. Most of the tough pitches you're going to make during the course of a game are out the
0-2
stretch.
pitch. Another foul ball from Lindor.
Boozer's got that game face on. 0-2.
0-2 again. Lindor rips one foul now the third base side this time.
Boozer's story has been well documented. He's a lifetime minor leaguer. Stepped away from the game. Became a carpenter for a few years.
And Lindor
He missed the game, came back.
putting the bat to the ball to stay alive here.
Last year with the Red Sox at the age
Calls
of
time.
21 years old. He's in a battle here against Francisco Lindor. Nobody out in this 8th inning. 0-2.
Another 0-2. Lindor fouls it off first base side again.
Enter to win a 2025 Mazda CX-30. That's courtesy of Mazda Orland Park. Get your car raffle tickets today at whitesox.com/SoxCar. What a ball game this has been.
Still 0-2 on Lindor with Luis Aniel at first. And another payoff from Boozer. And it's upstairs for ball 1. Edgar thought about throwing down to first, but he pulls back.
For ball 1.
1-2.
Got him upstairs.
Lindor strikes out in a high cutter.
Yeah, causing the
One out.
fastball before that. You speed Lindor up. What does it do? He gets away with a cutter that's up in the zone. 88 miles an hour.
Now there's Brandon Nimmo with 1 out and a runner at first, so the inning-ending double play ball is in effect here for the White Sox. Lefty on lefty here. Fastball inside to start things off, ball 1.
98 miles an hour.
A double in the first inning for Nimmo.
Favorably left on left.
That's his only hit today.
Away from Nimmo.
1-0. is a cutter that misses outside. 2-0 now.
He's actually been leaning back to the bag every time Boozer goes to the plate.
He does such a good job at getting the ball quickly towards home plate. You're going to have to really guess right if you're Acuna.
Vargas playing right by the bag, and Nimmo swings and misses at a fastball.
That's when you know Boozer stuff is good.
Sorry, swings and foul, tips it into the glove of Edgar.
I think what you do now, you've got a guy you can
For
maybe
strike
go back
one.
to that sweeper again. You speed him up. Now if you can throw one that appears to be a strike, might be able to get yourself
97 right down the heart of the plate that time. Had to adjust the pitch clock, it looked like.
2 balls and a strike to count here to Nimmo.
Now the 2-1. Nimmo rips one into right field. That's a base hit. Luis Aniel will take the turn to second. He'll dig the third, and he'll stop there. It's a one-out single for Brandon Nimmo. And the Mets have runners at the corners with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, and they're down by a run.
See the breaking ball right here from Boozer. Not a bad one. Down and away, and Nimmo goes
And
out.
guess who that brings up?
Head down, a really good swing by Nimmo.
The best hitter in the lineup, Juan Soto, the $765 million man, to the plate.
Now you got to deal with Juan Soto, only 1 out as the.
This is a great time for him to come up to maybe get his first hit of the day as a sweeper that catches the outside corner of the zone for strike 1. Soto walked in the 7th inning and was 0 for 2 before that.
When you very rarely see him flinch, you can tell he's a little bit still uncomfortable. Been struggling the last couple of weeks.
0-1 is a fastball spiked. 1-1 the count.
The Mets made the move in the offseason to lure him away from the Yankees. It was for moments just like this to come up in a big spot. The White Sox with a 1-0 lead.
Soto known for his plate discipline. Here's the 1-1. Soto, fly ball in the left field. This could be deep enough. Michael A. Taylor makes the play. Luis Aniel will tag, and he will score easily. Soto comes through with a game-tying sac fly. And there's the 2 outs to the bottom of the 8th. The Mets finally have a run, and they have tied the game.
This one sailed a little bit on Michael Taylor, but probably wouldn't have had much of a chance. Acuna just runs too well.
Now Nimmo was also able to tag and advance to second on that throw.
Brandon Nimmo also advanced to second. This might be the end of Cam Boozer. Yup, Will Venable's out. That's Cam Boozer's day. White Sox make a call to the pen. Game all tied at 1 after Soto hit a sac fly to left, and we'll be right back to see who the new White Sox pitcher is. Steven Wilson is the new pitcher for the White Sox as he comes in as this game is tied with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th at 1. Steven Wilson features 3 pitches, uses the sweeper over half the time, has a fastball and a changeup, and Will Venable is intentionally walking Pete Alonso.
Will Venable flashes the 4 fingers, an intentional walk.
So Alonso now will be at first with 2 outs. This will bring up Starling Marte.
So it's up to Steven Wilson to keep this game knotted at 1 apiece.
Nimmo at second, Alonso at first. Starling Marte at the plate trying to get the Mets the lead here. First pitch to Marte is a sweeper that catches the corner of the zone for strike 1. Nice pitch by Wilson.
Settled in, breaking ball down and away for a strike.
0-1. Marte fly ball. That's foul. And he's quickly
Big
down
spot in
nothing
the game
two.
right here. Trying to keep this thing tight. It's been such a well-pitched game.
Wilson has the advantage lifetime against Marte. That hitter is 0 for 2.
Here's the payoff pitch from Wilson.
2 pitch.
And he plunked them. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, you'd like to have that one back, particularly when you're ahead in the count 0-2. Understand the reason for it. You try to run something in to get him off that breaking ball. Unfortunately, this
Got
one
him
gets
on.
away and it catches Marte on the right elbow. Left
The elbow, yeah. So the bases are loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Mets tied this game with a sac fly from Soto. Now can they get the lead from Brett Beatty? He hasn't got a hit today. He struck out, flown out, and had a ground out. But with the bases loaded, the 2 outs, game tied at 1, he can give the Mets the lead here. Beatty goes after the first pitch, deep to right field, but it's right at Mike Tauchman, and he makes the catch to end the inning. This game stays tied. Juan Soto comes through. We'll be right back for the 9th inning at Citi Field. Top of the 9th, White Sox Mets all tied at 1 here in Citi Field. And Edwin Diaz will come in the top of the 9th to try and keep this game tied. 21 games, he's pitched in 21.1 innings with a 2.53 ERA, 35% strikeout rate, and he only uses 2 pitches, 50% of the time. Fastball and a slider. First batter he'll face, he's already down 1-0 in the count to Lindor Sosa, and as I said, Torrens is catching, and Sosa pops up that pitch. Pete Alonso calling for it, and he makes the catch.
There's out number 1 to start this 9th inning. Well, as a former reliever, I know you got to love the job the White Sox bullpen has done. Back-to-back innings with the bases loaded. They're still tied.
Yeah, and it's very difficult, too, tie games on the road. But Iser was terrific. Came in a spot in the 7th inning, 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Was able to wiggle out of trouble. Now it's time for the bullpen. Maybe score a run and let that bullpen lock this one down.
Let's see if the White Sox can get it done against the Mets closer.
So 1 out after Alonso caught the pop-up from Sosa. Now here's Josh Rojas.
Has not allowed a hit in his last 7 appearances.
Fly ball.
At the end of the bat, in the shallow center.
Shallow center. McNeil's under it for out number 2. And Edwin Diaz doing a really good job here. 4 pitches, 2 outs. And the leadoff man will come up for the White Sox. That is Chase Mydroff.
He gets when he comes out of the bullpen. The lights go off, the horns come out. And you feel his impact before he even steps on the mound.
Yeah, he does. He brings this crowd here in Citi Field to his feet. He can strike some people out. High energy guy. He's had some issues.
First pitch from Edwin is a slider that runs out inside.
Originally had a really difficult
1-0 on Mydroff, who drew a walk
when he's throwing strikes
in the first inning. 0 for 3 besides that. Might draw another walk here as he's already up 2-0 in the count.
So Chase Mydroff needs a hit to extend his 12-game hitting streak. He is 0 for 3 with a walk today.
3 balls, no strikes on Mydroff as Edwin keeps missing inside.
Ahead the count 3-0.
And one of the things that Diaz doesn't run well, it doesn't hold runners on all that well. He has that high leg
And the
kick.
3-0, and Mydroff just backs up out of the box before the pitch even got to Torrens. And he draws a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs.
This might be a time you might want to elect to try to swipe it back, try to get in scoring position. It's so difficult off a
So
guy.
now up to the plate
2 or 3 hits together to score
for
runs.
Chicago.
Get the second base and
With 2 outs and Mydroff at first is Talk when he swings and misses at the first offering.
Fastball to start the at-bat.
Togman walked in the 4th and scored a run off a sac fly, which was the White Sox only run of the game. Swing and a miss, strike two, another fastball in there. Edwin just blowing it by Talkman. And with 2 outs, Talkman down to his final strike. He's got Mydroth at first, the go-ahead run. Talkman calls time. Now steps back into the box. And here's the payoff pitch from Edwin. He struck him out on 3 straight pitches. 3 straight swings and misses for Mike Talkman. And we'll head to the bottom of the ninth, all tied at 1. Can the Mets walk it off? We'll be right back from Queens. Bottom of the ninth. Mets 1, White Sox 1. Can the Mets walk it off, or can Steven Wilson, the White Sox, send things to extras as Wilson stays in for another inning? And the first batter he'll face is Tyrone Taylor.
Seven, 8, 9 to the plate, starting with Tyrone Taylor.
Bottom of the Mets order, coming up against Wilson. First pitch is a sweeper that misses outside, ball 1.
With the intentional walk, and then hit Marte to load the bases. But was able to get Beatty to fly out to end the threat.
1-0. Sweeper that misses down.
2-0 the count here to Taylor.
2 balls, no strikes on Taylor.
What does this feel like? Come in the game late, game tied against an explosive offense.
Particularly in a tie game, because every pitch is so critical.
And the 2-0.
2-0.
Tyrone Taylor turns on that pitch that's in the left field. That's called a foul ball.
Schedule presented by Toyota.
2-1.
Back here in Flushing, Queens tomorrow and Wednesday. Then you and I are off to Baltimore for the weekend.
It's a crab cakes,
Right.
So we start this 6-game road trip with a win. It was up to Steven Wilson to keep this game tied at 1 apiece. You were talking about just being a reliever, been 18 years on the mound in the major leagues, the pressure, what this feels like.
Well, one thing you have to do is just go pitch by pitch. Try not to get ahead of yourself. The next pitch you make is the most important.
2-1 to Taylor. Swing and a miss on outside sweeper. And the count is tied at 2.
Being aggressive in tight games, tie games, especially in the 8th and 9th inning. Not saying that most, but a good majority want to try to be.
Here comes the put-away pitch from Wilson to Taylor.
Predictable. It's half the battle.
Taylor fly ball to left field. That's pretty far, and it's off the glove of Luis Robert Jr. Taylor has to throw it in. Tyrone Taylor stops at second. A double off the glove of Luis Robert Jr. in left center field at the warning track. And a leadoff double for Tyrone Taylor.
Kind of perfectly placed, high fly ball and gap deep to left center field. You see a sweeper that's a little up in the zone. Wilson knew it was trouble when he let it go. Taylor has to go a long way to get it.
Oh, it just bounced off the glove of Luis Robert Jr. And he slid into the wall. He looked like he hurt himself.
He decided to stop at second base. This is a terrific play by Lewis. One of the keys, extra base hits out of the box. You can see Taylor.
Yeah, Tyrone was digging.
The first base, the play's right in front of him. He sees it. Makes a good decision. The last thing
and he, last second, stopped at second. And Jeff McNeil has been intentionally walked, and the Mets have 2 runners on with no one out. Luis Torrens to the plate. This is his first at-bat today.
Face the catch of Luis Torrens.
He is the 9-hitter. And he's going to show bunt, and he pulled it back. Edgar almost threw it down to second as Taylor was halfway in between second and third, but got back. So now the White Sox know that Torrens is going to bunt.
Stabbed at it. You almost want to try to catch the ball with the bat instead of going out and trying to make a pass at it when you're bunting it.
0-1 to Torrens, and he rips one in the left field. It's down for a base hit. Michael A. Taylor fires it in. Tyrone stops at third, and the bases are loaded for Francisco Lindor with no one out. And he's already had a walk-off homer this season and a walk-off sac fly. Be a great time for number 3.
Fastball up in the zone. Maybe banking on that. Maybe they were to try to bunt again.
And here we go. Bases loaded, no one out for one of the best hitters in the game, Francisco Lindor, and he turns on the first pitch to deep right field. It's under. Talkman makes the catch, but that'll do it. Taylor scores easily. The Mets walk it off on a Francisco Lindor sac fly. They come back down 1-0 in the 8th and get it done 2-1 in the 9th.
Terrific job getting out of a jam there in the 7th.
Third walk-off of 2025 for Francisco Lindor. His second walk-off sac fly of the season.
Bases loaded, nobody out, facing a guy like Lindor.
See y'all later. RBL. Peace.
Put yourself in a tough spot.